Greetings. This is Bradford Donald Keller Townsend, and this is a forward research report from the United States Library of Congress and the Congressional Research Service. Part 2, Regime Structure, Stability, and Opposition. Some experts attribute the acrimony that has characterized U.S.-Iranian relations since the Islamic Revolution to the structure of Iran's regime, although there are some elected leadership posts and diversity of opinion. Iran's constitution, adopted in public referenda in 1980, again in 1989, reserves paramount decision-making authority for supreme leader, known formally in Iran as leader of the revolution. The president and Majlis unicameral parliament are directly elected, and since 2013 there have been elections for municipal councils that set local development priorities and select mayors. Even within the unelected institutions, factional disputes between those who insist on ideological purity and those considered more pragmatic are evident, in part because of the preponderant political power of the clerics and security services. The regime has faced repeated periods of unrest from minorities, intellectuals, students, labor groups, the poor, women, and members of Iran's minority groups. Iran's demographics are depicted in the text below. U.S. officials in successive administrations have accused Iran's regime of widespread corruption, both within the government and among its pillars of support. In a speech on Iran in July 22, 2018, Secretary of State Michael Pompeo characterize Iran's government as something that resembles the mafia more than the government. He detailed allegations of abuse of privileges enjoyed by Iran's leaders and supporting elites to enrich themselves and their supporters at the expense of the public good. The State Department, September 2018, Outlaw Regime Report, page 41, states that corruption and mismanagement at the highest levels of Iranian regime have produced years of environmental exploitation and degradation throughout the country. And the sources here: first, the U.S. Embassy hostages, Consolidated, Secretary of State Pompeo supporting Iranian voices, Reagan Library. Okay. Supreme Leader Grand Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, born in July 1939 to an Azeri Turk family from northern Mashhad, was jailed by the Shah of Iran for supporting Ayatollah Khamenei's revolution after the regime took power in 1979. And I'm just going to go over here to Azeri genetics just to show a little bit of the ethnicity and the science. DNA testing shows with other families and ethnic groups, family tree databases that includes not only Azeris but also other Caucasian peoples. And there's a mountain range around the Caspian Sea area and the Black Sea, and it's the Caucasian Mountains. Laks, that's an ethnic group, Armenians, Georgians, and Jews, and members of many other ethnic groups. Once you've submitted your sample, you'll be eligible for their project. Okay. The independent country of Azerbaijani, but then it goes on here, and basically it says Azeris are a mixture of Caucasians, Iranians, Near Easterners, Europeans, and Turkmens in that order of importance. So Caucasians first. Okay. So I know Iranians here in Indianapolis who have blonde hair, blue eyes, and red hair, fair skin, freckles. I thought he was Scottish, and he had no accent at all, but he was born and raised in Iran, and was here to get was at IU Indiana University getting a business degree, and he was also getting a minor in math, and we studied math together, did our homework together. His name was Bobek. So, and my brother, one of his best friends, is a surgeon, and he has lightish blonde hair, looks like a stereotypical Dutchman or Swede. He's tall, blonde, blue-eyed guy. And then there's also African American and looking people there, or African looking people, and brown and olive skinned. So it's very racially, ethnically diverse, the country of Iran, like the United States, basically. There's Asian, more the kind of Chinese looking people there too, and there's Arabs. So that's him. He's part of the majority, which is what would be a Caucasoid-looking people, is a little over 50%, and then the rest are Asiatic and African in appearance, or East Asian and African in appearance, and South Asian in appearance. Okay, so I left off here. After regime change took over in 1979, helped organize Revolutionary Guard and other security organs. Lost some use of the right arm in a purported, so that means they're putting aspersions on it, saying that they don't necessarily believe that his arm injury was an assassination attempt in 1981. Was elected president in 1981 and served until 1989. Was selected Khomeini's successor in 1989. Upon that selection, Khomeini's religious ranking was advanced to official organs of Grand Ayatollah from the lower-ranking Hujjat-ul-Islam. Still lacks the undisputed authority to end factional disputes at the public adoration Khomeini had. Has taken more of a day-to-day role since 2009 uprising, including establishing strict parameters for Iran's nuclear negotiating team during the JCPOA talks. Again, that's the talks with America to get sanctions lifted, and it had incentives in it and disincentives. As Khomeini's health situation, the government acknowledged that he underwent prostate surgery. September 2014, but Khomeini has since appeared in public regularly, including occasionally performing light physical tasks. Has not traveled outside Iran since becoming supreme leader. Lives in the Pasteur district of Tehran, named after the French biologist Louis Pasteur. Policies. Throughout career, has consistently taken hardline stances on regional issues, particularly toward Israel, repeatedly calling it cancerous tumor that needs to be exorcised from the region. In March 2014, publicly questioned whether the Holocaust occurred, an issue highlighted by former President Ahmadinejad. He is widely believed to fear direct military confrontation with the United States on Iran soil. He meets with few Western officials and is avowedly suspicious of relations with the West, particularly the United States, as potentially making Iran vulnerable to Western cultural influence, spying, and possible regime destabilization efforts. Likely bowing to public opinion, Khomeini acquiesced to the election in 2013 of relatively moderate President Hassan Rouhani, who favors opening to the West. Khomeini did not oppose the JCPOA, paving the way for its adoption by the Majlis and the Council of Guardians. In 2016, he accused the United States of not implementing JCPOA-related sanctions relief fully and thereby deterring foreign firms from returning to Iran. Earlier, he reputedly issued religious proclamation again in 2003 against acquiring nuclear weapon, as 2012 called doing it a sin. He fully backs efforts by Revolutionary Guard and other Iranian organs to support regional pro-Iranian movements and governments. Earlier in this year, Khomeini tended to support the business community, and they call it bazaris. You know, a bazaar is like a market, like we have farmers markets in Indiana, usually around the park in the town center. Oppose state control of the economy. But as the supreme leader, he has asserted that officials, including Rouhani, need to promote a self-sufficient economy that can withstand the effects of international sanctions. They call this, in quotes, resistance economy. Attributed late 2017-2018 unrest to meddling by the United States, Saudi Arabia, and Israel, but also acknowledged that protesters had legitimate grievances. Khomeini's office, ran by Mohammadi Gulpayini, with significant input from Khomeini's second and increasingly influential son, Mojtaba. Khomeini is advised formally by the Expediency Council and informally by the Kayhan editor Hussein Saris Mahadari and numerous other current former official clerics and other notables. Okay, I'm going to stop there and add a little bit about the Supreme Leader, as I've had intimate friends of Iranian background and refugees who are friends of mine, and he has become a multi-billionaire by controlling the educational system and setting up private schools where he makes large amounts of money. And my friends were not Muslims. They were partly Jews and a face called Bahis, who, and they told me about all the different ways that these senior leaders have become multi-billionaires, and even owning a significant percentage of the entire Iranian economy. Thank you very much, and have a good day.